A stock drops, and I say, you know what, I think this is going to bounce. I'm going to buy it. And I buy right there. Now, what's the odds of this bounce coming all the way back to the top? I'm going to tell you what it is. It's 12%. This is 32 years of experience talking to you now. All right, 12% chance. The novice, the untrained novice, will go for the 12%. Okay, what's the odds of the stock bouncing? Let's do this again. I want to do this a little higher. What's the odds of the stock bouncing halfway? Let's do this halfway zone here. That's right, Adolfo. More like actually 62%. Let's stick with the twos. All right. Okay, now that's a good spot to go for. 62%, that's decent enough to make money right there. All right, because even the ones that don't quite reach it, you're still not losing. So even if you don't quite get to the 50% mark, right? Because this is the 100% mark, this is the 50% mark. Even if you get almost there, you're not going to let the stock fall back into negative territory. So that 62% is actually higher if you take the failures into account. All right, I didn't get 50%, I got 40%, but I still made money. I didn't get 50%, I got 45%, but I still made money. I got 35%, I still made money. So when you account for the failures, that 62% is pretty high. It goes much higher. I'm talking about where you actually get the 50% is 62%. Add the failures and you're really high, okay? But I made my living here. See that? I made my living in that 35% area. Now, how many times does this bounce have a 35% retracement? 82% of the time, you see? No, it's not 92. It's 82% of the time, but if you account for the failures, it's in the mid-90s. That's where you're talking about, Clayton. So even if sometimes I get 25%, I'm still getting something. But I will get it actually 82% of the time. And when I don't get it, I will get something 95% of the time. So now, this is where I make my living. This is where my accuracy is so high that I can trade, I can go up in size. You see, if I were going for the 100%, I'd have to play smaller size because my risk is higher. My risk of not getting there is higher. But if I'm playing in the 95% tile, I'm going to play big. All right? And so I make up for it not being able to get this. I make up for it by increasing size. So in essence, I would make the same thing. Because by going for 100%, I'm going to play smaller. But by going for 35%, I play big. So I still make the same money, if not more. Does that make sense? So it might appear that I leave a lot on the table. But remember, I'm going after the 95% with size instead of the 50% with a smaller size or the 100% with a really small size. I'm making up for it. See, the professional that needs to make money every day, the NASDAQ market maker every day, the New York Stock Exchange specialist every day, they live in the pennies. You know, it's only the novices that go after big gains. The professional goes after the sure gain. What's the surest gain? And let me do it a million times. They're not into playing the lottery. You win once in a million. That's the novice. Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have to have skill to do that. I'm not saying that. First of all, I don't teach you that, do I? No. I mean, I do in a way as part of where you're going. But I teach you to go after much bigger because you work from bigger to smaller. If I can create your accuracy going after a 50% move, then imagine if I say, okay, now the game has changed to 30%. You're gonna be like, Oliver, I already got accurate getting 50%. I'm gonna kill this 30%, right? So I help you build your accuracy at the higher level so that when I take you to the lower level and give you more money, you kill it almost every day. Yeah, baby. They're like, what can I win all the time and then play big?